Hi, CPL one. This is our second video. Remember, we will be watching these videos. Two of them will be watched during class, and you'll be taking notes. And then part of that note packet when you take home, there will be 3 more videos for you to watch. And those totally count as homework points, so you definitely want to do them, plus gain the knowledge. So these first ones are warm-up. And so let's think about each of these. We can go through them. Remember, we're doing the PEMDAS, so I'm going to go left to right, and we just have addition and subtraction. So I'm going to do that first. So it's -5 added to 12. So it means you see something that costs $5, and you have $12 in your pocket. You buy it, well, you have 7 left. 7 minus 3 then is going to give you 4. This one we can go ahead and take care of the math inside, or we could distribute over. It doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to choose to do the inside math first. 4 subtract 10, you have $4. Something costs $10, so you still owe 6. And then 3 times -6 would give you -18. This would have been the same exact answer if I would have distributed the 3 over first. Okay, letter C. Remember, division is a higher power than, or higher order than addition. So I'm going to go 8 divided by 4, so 4 goes in 8 twice, so then I get 2 plus 2, that 2 comes down, and it gives me 4. And then let's see this next one. Again, we'll take care of the inside the parentheses first. Something costs $2, you have $5, so you have $3 in your pocket, minus 2. And then remember 3 and 3, when they're together like that with the parentheses, that means we're going to multiply. So I get 9 minus 2, and that's going to give me 7. Okay, hope that's going okay so far for you. Let's see, go to the next slide. All right, so we're going to start solving. That means we're going to start getting a variable all by itself, okay? And so the inverse of addition is subtraction. The inverse of subtraction is addition. The inverse of multiplication is division. So then the inverse of division would be multiplication. Okay, remember division can also be written as a fraction. Okay. When we solve an equation, our goal is to get the variable alone. And the variable, remember, is the letter alone. Okay. Let's move on. Okay, so notice we do have a variable. Okay, so we want to start working this problem. Now, there's a couple of different ways I like to do this, and I'll do this for a couple. I have an equal sign, so I'm going to draw kind of a line straight down. That just means there's a left side of that equal sign and a right side to it. Do you agree with that? All right, so we need to start undoing things. So we want to undo the addition and subtraction first. So what was the inverse of subtraction? Right, addition. So if I add 2 here to the left side, I'm going to add 2 to the right side. And remember, the dotted line means equal sign going all the way down. So if I work this out, this cancels this. The 3x is going to come down. That's an equal sign right there. The -2 and +2 cancel out, and then I have 4 added to 2, which is 6. Well, 3 and x are being held together. How? What operation is holding 3 and x together right now? Yeah, they're being held together by multiplication. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide each side by 3. So those cancel. And I'm going to reduce if I can. 6 over 3. Well, 3 goes to 6 twice. And that's going to be my answer. Now, if you had taken this 2 and plugged it back in, you'd get 3 times 2, which is 6, minus 2. Is 6 minus 2 equal to 4? And the answer is yes. Okay, what do we see about this problem? Does it appear the variable is on the right side? Yeah, it does, but that's okay. Now, we could flip-flop the whole problem over to make sure it gets on the left side, but there's not really a rule that says it has to be. So again, I'm going to draw in this line. What does that line mean again? Yeah, it means the equal sign. So I have a left side and a right side. So on the left side I have 12, and on the right side I have y over 3 and 3 plus 3. So add 3. So the opposite of add 3 is subtract 3. So those cancel. 12 subtract 3 is 9, and then I get y over 3. Well, if I want to get the y all by itself, y and 3 are being held together by division. And the inverse of division is multiplication. So those are going to cancel out. 3 times 9 is 27 is equal to y. This answer is totally fine, but like people in the math world sometimes get weird. They're like, we always want the variable on the left side. Okay, we'll just flip the whole thing over. Make sure any positive or negative signs stay with it, but that answer is fine. If you gave me this answer, I'm not going to mark you wrong for it. It's just realize if it's multiple choice, that'll be the kind of answer we would give you. So realize you can flip the whole thing over. Okay, here's some practice problems. So for a couple of them, I'll put the equal sign in. All right, so negative b added to 6. So the undoing of this is I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. So I get negative b is equal to negative 11 minus 6. That gives me negative 17. And then remember, I don't want to have a negative variable. So I'm going to multiply each side by negative 1. So if I multiply by negative 1, I get b, because negative times negative is positive. And look at this side. I have negative 17 times negative 1 is positive 17. If you plugged positive 17 back in there, it would totally work. Okay, let's draw our line. Remember, that's our equal sign. We want to get y by itself. So that's positive 8. So I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. Those cancel. So I get negative 3y is equal to 6. How are negative 3y and y, or negative 3 and y being held together? Yeah, multiplication. So I'm going to divide each side by negative 3. So I get y equals negative 2. Cool. All right, problem number 3. We have our left and right. So I'm drawing my little equal sign. So what do you think's first? I have negative 4 times x, and then I have minus 7. Yeah, that's right. We're going to have to add 7 to both sides to get that. And so I get negative 4x. Something costs $31, and I have $7 left. It's going to be a negative answer, and it's going to give me a negative 24. Okay. Negative 4 and x are being held together by multiplication, so I will divide each side by negative 4. I kind of ran out of room, so I'm going to bring this up here. So I have x equals negative over negative is positive. 24 over 4 is 6. All right, number 4. So I realize the variable is on the right side, and that's totally fine. So I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides because it's positive 4, and the inverse of that is negative 4. Those cancel, so I get negative 3 equals t over 3. How are t over 3 being held together? Yeah, by division. So I'm going to multiply both sides by the 3. Those cancel. And I ran out of room, so I'm going to get, I'm going to flip it over. So t equals, what does this give me if I multiply those together? Yeah, negative 9. So t equals negative 9. And again, if you had it negative 9 equals t, your answer is correct. Okay, whoops. Let's take a look at number 5. Does it look like the x minus 3 is the whole top part of the fraction? Yeah, I think so too. So I'm going to start undoing it. So x minus 3 is the top part of the fraction. It's called the numerator. And it's divided by 7, so over 7. So what undoes division? Multiplication. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 7. So those cancel out. Okay, and so I have x minus 3. And then 7 times 12, I believe, is 84. And then I'm going to add 3 to both sides. Notice, what did I not put in this time? What did I forget to put in? Yeah, I didn't have my little vertical line to show the equals. And that's okay. We don't have to put that. If you need it, please, by all means, use it. If you don't need it, you're fine. You know, it's not right or wrong if you put it or not. Just realize you have a left side and a right side to your equal sign. So that's kind of a good thing. All right, let's see. 2/3 m minus 4 plus 2. Well, we're going to add 4 to both sides first. Notice I didn't draw in my equal sign. That's okay. Equals, oh, kind of run that. There we go. 2 added to 4 is 6. All right, now 2/3. What do you think? This is kind of a combination problem. 2 is being multiplied times m, and it's also being divided by 3. So 2/3 is a fraction. So if you want to get rid of a fraction and it's being multiplied times a number, you're going to do something called the reciprocal, which means you're going to flip the fraction over. You're going to multiply both sides by the exact same thing. So this 3 cancels this 3, this 2 cancels this 2, and I'm left with m equals, and then I have, 6 and 3 halves, 6 times 3 halves. Well, that's kind of goofy. Well, 2 goes into 6 3 times, and then 3 times 3 is 9. Now, that's a little bit more challenging problem. We'll definitely be practicing some of those, but remember when you flip over a fraction, it's called the reciprocal of the fraction. Okay? Oh, the word problem. Great stories. We love stories. I'm not sure where Yummy Yogurt's at. If you'd find out for me, that'd be awesome. But so it looks like you're going to pay 35 cents for a container. So if you walk in and say, "Hey, can I have a container?" They're charging you 35 cents no matter what. And then they're going to charge you 40 cents for every ounce of yogurt and toppings that you have to put on. So you're definitely paying 35 cents. You're definitely paying this. Okay. What will influence that? How many ounces of yogurt you get. Okay. So we're going to call X, and we're going to say X we could call yogurt. Okay. Yogurt. So that's our variable. So each a little bit amount we do it. And then it says if you brought $4.75, how much yogurt, or if you just bought a yogurt for $4.75, how much did you get? Okay, so we're going to go 4.75 over here. Okay, so I paid $4.75. 35 cents of that was my cup, and then I paid an extra 40 cents per ounce. Now, I don't always like to have decimals. So, my friends, you remember if I'm moving a decimal 2 places over, if I multiplied everything times 100, doesn't that move the decimal over 2 places to the right for each one? And though the numbers become bigger, I don't have to worry about a decimal any longer. This is a valuable skill for you. Okay? So now we want to start solving it. So put my little dotted line in there. That's my equal sign. Subtract 35 from both sides. And that becomes 440. Now, if you need a little 4-function calculator or something to do this, that's totally fine. Go find it in the junk drawer of your kitchen. Steal that little tiny calculator. Okay, there's no reason to go get the really big guy to do this kind of stuff because you're just add and subtract and multiply and divide. Okay, 40 and x are being held together by multiplication. So I'm going to undo by dividing each side by 40. And so that's going to give me x equals, let's see, 4 goes into 44 once, 4 goes into 40 once. I got 11 ounces of yogurt. Now, I don't know if that's a lot of yogurt for you or not. I mean, believe me, when I go to these frozen yogurt places, I always like to get the big stuff. I load it up and then, but that's me. I like my sweets of yogurt and other treats like that, so that's kind of fun. And if it's a warm day when you're watching this, wouldn't a nice yogurt go down really well? Okay, that's all we got. So make sure you write any questions down that you might have, and make sure you're taking the notes. Make sure you completed the questions that were in this, which kind of forces you to. Have a great day, everybody. Take care of one another.